Supposed to be in the center.
Well, it's not like central in between you, to be honest. Now it is.
Perfect, okay, fine.
Yeah. Oh, it's done. Okay, Lily, ready. Well, it's not ready because I don't have green dots on your face yet. Focus taking.
Painful.
Well, this has been quite funny.
Yeah, okay, now I have you.
Ignore the pressing.
I feel like we should have recorded it from here. To have like the behind the literally behind the scenes.
I think we did record all of that
Yeah.
from the other cameras.
No, but not from here.
Oh.
Yeah, but the other cameras are pointing at you.
Okay, so Roxanne, can you wave your arm or something? Oh yeah, now I can see it go from your elbow actually. Is it okay, Danny?
What?
Oh.
Can you
see me if I just sit here?
No.
Okay, that's
Good.
alright.
can you see me in my camera?
Yes, I can.
Okay, are we ready to
Alright,
go
are
now?
we ready now?
And worst case scenario, just cut it around.
Good.
Are we recording, Edwin?
This is recording. That one was recording. This is recording. Mine's unrecorded. Yeah.
All ready to go.
Good,
Okay.
good.
You go.
Okay.
Okay, let's have 3 seconds in silence for the post-pro, just to cut all of this.
Switch off your mobiles.
We're gonna start with the Newton, right?
Yes, I was just waiting for 3 seconds.
Yeah, the 3 seconds passed already.
Okay, I'll just wait 1 second.
Okay.
And so we begin the Infinite Opera podcast.
Special number 2.
Special number 2?
Yes.
No, I don't think so. Special number 9.1 times 10 to the minus 31.
Well, it's our second special, but all the specials, they don't reach to 1. They're like between 0 and 1.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And we began the podcast today with the sound of perpetual motion,
Well, and perpetual.
which has ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ended already.
Yes. So thank you,
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Friction, for that.
Yeah, I think we should introduce ourselves.
I think we should.
Because last time we didn't do it.
No, okay. So we are Infinite Opera. This is Mr. Daniel Blanco Albert.
We have Roxanne Corda.
Yes. And we're here today to talk to you about opera and physics. What can we say about opera and physics?
That is a horrible topic for a podcast that's supposed to make any fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's terrible.
Yes, horrible.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, physics, the most hated subject in school.
And opera is something so elitist that almost nobody knows about it.
Exactly. And yet we are doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are, and let us
Do you
begin.
reckon anybody's going to come to the opera after just seeing this podcast?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, especially because we have only 50 views in our podcast.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think a scientist would have to say about opera?
I don't know. I don't think they really go to the opera, right?
I don't think they do, really. No. Well, what would a scientist say about music?
Yeah. You as a scientist, because you are a physicist, Roxanne, what do you think about music? What's music for you?
I guess music is just like a series of vibrations, which my brain has been programmed to receive and think are joyful, but actually it's just nothing really.
Okay, and then opera, what's that for you?
And opera is the same, but it just makes me cry.
Okay,
Yeah,
and it makes no sense, right?
and it makes no sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's the physicist version. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. What about you as a musician? What would you say about physics?
Well, physics, for me they're really good actually.
Yeah?
Because as a composer I can just get some commissions just to do operas about physics and they get programmed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, by physics departments.
Yeah. All
Great.
across the UK.
So actually, as a musician, you just like everything because it just gives you the opportunity to work.
If it gives me any opportunity to make any money as a musician, which
Yeah.
is something already.
That can be good.
Okay,
Yeah.
that can be good. So this
Great.
leads into our promotion because this podcast is about
Yes.
promoting something.
Yeah.
So physics and opera.
Physics and opera.
So what do we need to say about physics and opera?
Well, first of all, we need to know that we're doing la promotion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the promo.
Yeah, the promo. And we have written an opera about physics, which we are going to be performing in both King's College London on the 14th of November and Nottingham University Lakeside Theatre on the 27th of November.
With an introductory talk by Professor Gerardo Adesso,
Exactly.
Professor of Mathematics, Physics,
Yes.
in
Quantum correlations.
Yeah, quantum correlations.
Yeah.
Good, really looking forward for it. We
Yeah.
met him today.
We met him today. He was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a burger in Nottingham.
We did. It was the best burger ever. Annie's Shack.
Yeah.
Everyone should go there.
Yeah, probably there's people in the audience that know about that. What do you think about the Annie's Shack?
It's great.
It's great. I think we should get paid by Annie's Shack now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should start in this video.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
Okay. So I think we should maybe move into the next section of the podcast.
Yeah, especially because we started like 1 hour and a half late.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to get going. Okay.
It's just a disaster. So I think I should play the jingle.
Oh, we have a special jingle.
Yes, I don't know if it's gonna work. Okay, let's see.
The program.
Today, physics.
Really good voice, Roxanne.
Yeah, you too, Danny.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
good. So what
Okay.
do we have today in the program?
So today the program is about physics.
And what's the name of the section of the program?
Physics.
Okay, so it's the same.
Oh no. Aren't you going to tell us the name of the section of the program?
No, but the name of the section of the program is physics.
Oh yeah, it
Which
is physics. Yeah.
Mysteriously is the same as the name of the program.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
That seems to happen. It happened last time as well.
Yeah. So
It's surprising. Yeah. Okay. Great. So
So-
let's move into that.
yeah, I don't really remember the order of the program today. Were you gonna
perfect.
start with your section, or should I start with mine?
I can start with my section.
Okay, let's do that then.
All right. So my section is all about famous physicists that some mathematicians that have lives that should have been documented in opera, but have not as yet been documented in opera. So, and I'm going to explain to you why they should be operas. Okay. So first we're going to start with Pythagoras, who was one of the first documented vegetarians. And however, even though he was a vegetarian, he had a phobia of beans. And the legend of his
Roxanne, could we say that the Pythagoras was the first influencer?
yeah, we could say that he was the first influencer. So the legend of his death goes that he was being chased from his house by some people that hated him, and he came to a field of beans, which he refused to enter because of his phobia of beans. At which point they caught up to him and cut his throat. He died.
Very operatic.
Very
right?
operatic. Yeah. I think, yeah. Okay. The next one is a 16th century Danish astronomer called Tycho Brahe. Brahe. I'm not sure how you say that. Oh. Yeah, we have a Danish person here.
Tycho Brahe.
Oh.
Can you say it to the microphone?
Tycho Brahe.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it again. Yeah. So he was a nobleman. He was particularly noticeable because he lost his nose in a college duel, and he wore a metal prosthetic nose after that. But he was very wealthy. He had his own island, and he really loved having parties, and he'd always invite people to come and party at his island. And he had some really crazy things there, like he had a tame elk. Everyone needed to pay his tame elk. He also had a dwarf named Jep that sat under his table, and he fed scraps of food too. And he died because he was attending a party in Prague where he refused to leave the table when he needed to pee because he thought that was bad etiquette, and then he got a bladder infection and died 10 days later. So
Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. He was quite weird.
yeah, sounds pretty weird.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay, next one was Tesla, who we have a lovely picture of on this note on the table. He had an OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. He couldn't touch hair, dirt, pearl earrings, or anything that was round. He was obsessed with the number 3. He'd always have to circle a building 3 times before he went in, and he used exactly 18 napkins at each meal to polish his utensils before he began eating.
So he used 9 utensils because he had to polish it 3 times.
Wow,
No,
No.
that's what no,
No,
twice.
yeah.
What?
Six-
My
six
mom
utensils.
what? I
Six
forgot to
utensils.
just do maths. Fucking hell.
What's that? You swore in our podcast.
Oh shit.
Oh, again.
This is getting
Danny.
better and better.
Yeah. Okay, next Heisenberg. He nearly failed. Who's the famous developer of the uncertainty principle, which says that you can never know two properties about a quantum particle at once. He nearly failed his PhD because he didn't really know anything about experimental technique. And also, the doctoral degree committee asked him how a battery worked, and he couldn't answer. So, but I feel like he probably just knew about the uncertainty principle because he couldn't know about like two areas of physics at the same time.
Yeah, probably.
Physics joke. Okay. Next we have Oppenheimer, who was like insanely clever. He spoke 8 different languages. He was interested in poetry, language, and philosophy, and he just didn't understand that other people weren't as clever as he was. And at one point he asked his colleague to give a lecture on a book that he'd written, and he gave his colleague this book, and the colleague came back and was like, I don't really understand why you did this because this book is in Dutch. And then he was like, but it's really easy Dutch. Then next we have Buckminster Fuller, who
Roxanne,
yeah.
how can we compose an opera about that fact?
I don't know.
You were supposed to be like a kind of stories of physics that we could bring into opera.
Yeah, but he just I think we could compose an opera about that. Everyone would hate him.
Okay.
Yeah, there'd be all the like bickering. Yeah. Buckminster Fuller, who was an architect of the future and a scientist, and he invented a car called the Dymaxion, which could both fly and drive. And 3 people died trying to use this car. So
So he's a really good engineer, right?
yeah, really good. He wore 3 different watches which had different time zones on them, and he only slept for 2 hours per night, which he called Dymaxion sleep. Which the word Dymaxion is a mixture of the words dynamic, maximum, and tension. So he had a diary that he had updated at 15-minute intervals from 1915 to when he died. Yeah, which is, what did I say? Oh, it's 82 meters high. This diary is called the Dymaxion Chronofiles.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I have more.
Yeah, I could keep with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What does he have?
I have a Hungarian mathematician called Paul Erdos, who was like a total obsessive, and he never got married, and he lived out of a suitcase, and he would just turn up at his friends' houses when he had thought of things, being like, my brain is open.
So
And
he
then
was a physicist or a musician.
he was a mathematician.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he just got like increasingly more insane and got addicted to like caffeine and caffeine pills and amphetamines towards the end of his life because he just wanted to keep on doing maths. And he published over 1,500 papers, and there is a number called the Erdos number, which is the amount of degrees of separation that you have from an Erdos paper.
Okay.
Then we have Feynman,
Okay.
who was famously part of the Manhattan Project, where he spent his free time picking locks and cracking safes just to show that they were not very secure. And then he also explained how the Challenger got destroyed in the explosion of the Challenger, that the O-rings were faulty in NASA. And he also won the Nobel Prize for quantum electromagnetics. And he used to hang out with Las Vegas showgirls. He was an expert in two-van throat singing, and he could speak Mayan. So I think that would be an interesting opera.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah,
Could be
there's
very
lots of
good.
stuff there. What else have I got here? Oh yeah, I've got Oliver Heaveside. He was a maths and electrical engineer. He furnished his house with granite blocks, so that would make an interesting set. He wore bright pink nail paint, and he spent a lot of time drinking milk. And he had
Because that's what you do.
he had a condition called hypographia, which gives you like an uncontrollable desire to write.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what he wrote.
Oh, you write maths and electrical engineering stuff. Yeah. Then we have two. This is not physicists. They're two. What are they called? Paleontologists. Charles Marsh and Edward Drinker. And they used to like each other, and then they became like really intense rivals. They both together discovered the Triceratops, the Diplodocus, and the Stegosaurus. And they used to like lay traps at each other's digs. Sometimes they would blow up each other's discoveries. They would like send spies on each other's like missions.
That's definitely cool, actually.
Yeah. They would humiliate each other in like scholarly articles. They would accuse each other of scandals in the newspapers. They had an interesting relationship.
Good.
And finally, oh, this is actually not a funny one. This is just recently. There were these two quantum. They did relativistic quantum mechanics. These two professors in Greece. It was Vasilis Xanthopoulos and Stefanos Pneumatikas. I should have really like known how to say their names.
Anybody from
properly.
Greece in the audience?
Really?
No, say from Greece. Do you want to try to say the name?
No, he probably
Sure.
won't be able to read my handwriting either. But they were murdered in a lecture theatre on
In a lecture theatre?
Yeah, on the 27th of November in 1990. They were both shot dead. Don't think they knew why, but they found the person
From
who
the
murdered them.
paleontologist. From before.
Maybe. Yeah, the rivalry continued. Yeah. So that could be an opera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like the one of the paleontologists.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. How would you call it?
How would we call that?
Any suggestions?
No.
Okay, weird silence.
We are silent. So, okay. The Stegosaurus Chronicles? Or like it's terrible.
Okay, that's correct. I think we should know how to name a contemporary opera.
We should know how to name one because
And for that,
we didn't
We have
do
the
that very well.
perfect section.
We have got the perfect section.
Yeah.
It's coming up. It's Danny's section of the program.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move
Which is
towards that.
about the names of 20th century operas, if we can find the papers.
I've got it. Yeah.
Do you have the papers there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but we can't show the audience.
Oh, yeah, we cannot.
No.
But we can play the jingle
But we can play the jingle.
if I can find it. So the section is called
20th century opera or mathematical paradox.
I made the jingle just coming in the train like 1 hour ago.
Yeah.
So you can really tell it's got cheap.
I fell asleep. It was great.
So
Yeah.
this we're gonna require the audience participation to
We
do
are.
this. So any volunteer to participate in the game, in the quiz, 20th century opera or
Or a
mathematical paradox.
I mean, everyone can participate at different points if you like.
Well, this is actually a version of a classic FM kind of recent joke,
Yeah.
opera or cheese,
Yeah, exactly.
which is actually quite good.
It is quite good. Surprising cheeses in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the hardcore version.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anybody from the audience? Oh, we have a really active audience
We
today.
have a very enthusiastic group behind us.
Yeah.
Why don't we just call out the name, and then if you feel like you know it's an opera or a mathematical paradox, you can say.
Oh, we can just compare, like they can
We
just,
can just compare.
think.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Okay, first one. Are you ready? Do you want to do it? Because it's your section, Danny.
Well, I can do it.
Yeah.
So, 20th century opera or mathematical paradox. Mr. Smith's Children. Who thinks it could be an opera? And a mathematical paradox? We're missing hands. Come on, again. Opera? Okay, 2. Mathematical paradox? You raised your hand before.
See, the thing is, if you'd have asked me mathematical paradox or Jesus Lizard song, I would ace this.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's a mathematical
It's a
paradox.
mathematical paradox, that Mr. Smith's Children.
Good.
Yeah.
So what about The Love for 3 Oranges? Opera or mathematical paradox?
We're going with opera.
Yes.
Okay.
Opera? Let's see opera.
Oh, I'm good with opera as well.
I'm
Okay.
going with opera because
Okay.
the other one was paradox.
And what about mathematical paradox?
There you go.
Okay. It's actually an opera
It's an
Okay.
opera.
by Prokofiev. So, next one. The Diary of Tristan Sandy. Opera or mathematical paradox? The Diary of Tristan Sandy. Who thinks it's an opera?
I mean, it is It's a diary. That could be a story.
Okay, we got 3 operas there. How about mathematical paradox? It's a mathematical paradox.
It is.
Yes. That name is great for an opera. The
It's
diary
a
of
good
Christmas
opera
something.
name. Yeah.
So what about 1,000 airplanes on the roof?
Who thinks opera? Yeah.
1,000 airplanes on the roof.
Can you guess terrible opera?
You can if you like.
You can.
Yeah.
So who thinks it is an opera? Who thinks it's a terrible opera? And who
Sounds
thinks
like a
it's
great opera.
and who thinks it's a mathematical paradox? So it's a terrible opera by Philip Glass. Okay, next one.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Hey, we keep going with the numbers. What about the 100 prisoners? Opera or mathematical paradox?
Who thinks opera?
And what about mathematical paradox? It's mathematical
Oh,
paradox.
it's mathematical.
Yeah.
It has a number in it.
So. So what about simplifies simplicissimus? Opera or mathematical paradox?
How can you simplify simplicissimus?
I don't know. Somebody did it. We have it in the list.
Yeah.
So who votes for opera? Okay, 1 opera and 2 operas.
No, sorry.
Oh,
no.
what about mathematical paradox?
Premature voting.
So it's an
An
opera
opera.
by Karl Orff.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, it comes one of our favorites.
Yeah.
So what about the cold sassy tree?
Oh yes, the cold, sassy tree. How
That-
can a tree be both
That
cold?
sounds great with paradox
and sassy.
behind, like the cold sassy tree paradox.
It does. The paradox of the cold, sassy tree.
Yeah. So the cold sassy tree. Opera? Anybody? Mathematical paradox? It's actually an opera.
It's an opera.
But I would like it to be a mathematical paradox.
Yeah.
It's great. So, what about the immortal hour?
The immortal hour.
Opera or mathematical paradox?
So, opera.
1 opera and how many mathematical paradox? It's an opera! Okay, let's keep going with the Macropulos case.
The Macropolis case.
Macropulos case.
It is a case after all.
So,
But of what?
is it an opera? 2 operas and mathematical paradox? It's an opera!
An opera.
By Elias Janacek.
Yeah.
So, next one.
So many operas.
This game is working very well because we can play like a bit of debate. So what about the missing square? Opera or mathematical paradox?
The missing square.
The
Imagine
missing
that
square.
if you just went out for your coffee in the square and it wasn't there.
So,
I hope it's an opera.
so who votes for opera? We have 2 operas and mathematical paradox. Yeah, it's a mathematical paradox.
Oh, I was hoping it would be an opera.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect opera title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Okay, how about this one? The Knot Garden
The knot garden with a K.
with a K. The Knot Garden.
The knot garden.
So is it an opera or a mathematical paradox?
Opera.
Who's for opera? An opera? How many mathematical paradoxes? It's an opera
It's an opera.
by Michael Tippett. Is it Michael Tippett?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Tippett, just in
Tip it,
case.
just tip it. Yeah.
Okay,
There are 2 on the back, by the way.
yeah, I know. But we have really 3 good ones here.
Oh, there are so many more.
Yeah. How about we prepared this podcast in just 1 hour, so we need just to fill with.
We spent 2 hours setting up the equipment. Though, so.
Yeah. So how about the Monty Hall problem?
Oh, yeah, the Monty Hall problem.
Opera or mathematical paradox? Who votes
thinks
for
opera?
opera? 2 operas. How about mathematical paradox? It's a mathematical paradox.
Choosing the 3 doors.
The 3 doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. So let's go for one of the most famous ones here in the list.
Oh, yeah.
So Hilbert's Grand Hotel,
Oh,
opera or mathematical paradox?
Hilbert's Grand Hotel.
So who votes for opera? to the operas. And how about mathematical paradox? How are you? Mathematical paradox? It's a mathematical paradox!
Yeah.
It's the paradox of the hotel, of
you
the
guys
infinite
never-
rooms with the infinite
Yeah.
guests.
Hilbert space.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, another one that
Yeah.
I love this one, even if it's a mathematical paradox or an opera. It's
Who
the
cares?
name is, yeah, who
Yeah.
cares? It's great. So it's the fallacy of the majority of chances. Is it an opera or a mathematical case? Who thinks it's an opera? Mathematical paradox? It's a mathematical
It
paradox.
is,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it has to
It
be. an
has
opera,
to
yeah.
be.
But I don't. Yeah, it's could be a really great opera. The
It
fallacy
will.
of the majority of chances.
Yeah, it's like the I don't know. I
Yeah,
forgot.
the curious incident of the dog
Oh,
at
the dog.
midnight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, a name like that. So two more. So, Gabriel's horn,
Oh, Gabriel's horn.
opera or mathematical paradox? Opera. We have two operas, mathematical paradox. Three mathematical paradoxes, and it's a mathematical
It is
paradox.
correct. We should have kept a score and see who's gonna win.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Pretty sure you have it on tape.
Oh, we do have it on tape. Yeah.
Yeah. We can find it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So last one is the
Yeah.
English cat. We have Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
So how about the English cat?
We also
Like
have
Schrödinger's cat with a top hat,
Henri, the existential cat.
monocle.
The English cat.
I think it's meant to be all time.
So who thinks it's an opera? We have four operas, mathematical paradox. One, and it's an opera.
It's an opera.
Yeah, good.
I
good.
really want to see that opera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which opera is your favourite on the list out of the ones you've seen or heard?
Which ones? I think I would say the Macropulos case.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, I mean, the mathematical paradoxes, we cannot really say if they're good operas or not,
No.
unless we make them one day.
Yeah.
As infinite opera, just hire us to make it.
Yeah.
If anybody with money is seeing this, watching this podcast, just hire us. We're not cheap, but still you can spend your money on us.
That's
So-
excellent. So thank you very much for your audience participation. Thanks to the wonderful audience. Okay. So, moving into the next section,
Yeah,
which is
it's the Feminist
the
Tribunal.
Feminist Tribunal. We have an excellent jingle for the Feminist Tribunal.
Yeah, well, you didn't even hear it, and I made it like 30 minutes ago.
No, okay. Let's listen.
Sorry. Well, I got the effect I wanted.
I think that was great.
So,
Okay, so today in the Feminist Tribunal we're going to be discussing the lack of female physicists in the world with this group of male people.
I think after doing that,
And Rita.
I think nobody's going to hire us anymore after doing that.
Yeah. Oh dear. Okay. Would anyone like to come up and participate in our Feminist Tribunal?
We're supposed to have like 2 guests, but they didn't come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that happened last time as well.
well, should we just start?
Yeah.
Okay, Stanley, why do you think that there are no women, well not no women, but there are fewer women in physics?
Maybe because they didn't really give them the chance just to participate because of the society that was just only promoting men in science
Maybe.
for many years.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, you're actually the expert here because you've written the biography of Rosalind Franklin, focusing on the sexism that she was suffering when she was doing her research.
Yeah.
So actually, I think you should be the interview.
Oh,
Not me.
okay. Yeah, of course.
I mean, you're the expert here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, there was a big problem back then in the 1940s, 50s, and it was, as you said, it was just society that people were expecting women to be a specific way, and if a woman was working as a physicist, and it just wasn't what they thought that a woman should be doing, so they were less likely to be taken seriously. So they just had a lot more to fight against at the time. And then, particularly for poor Rosalind Franklin, it was really sad because all of her work got stolen, and then other people.
Well, maybe we should explain who Rosalind Franklin was.
Yeah, so Rosalind Franklin was a biophysicist who helped in the discovery of the structure of DNA, and she was a pioneer of X-ray crystallography, which also found the structure of many like viruses and proteins and things. And yeah, she spent months working on finding the structure of DNA, and she got this picture and she thought it might have been the structure, and she submitted it to the Scientific Research Council, and then Watson and Crick, who'd also been working on it, managed to get hold of her picture, and by getting hold of her picture they were able to then submit, like have proof for their submission, like it helped them to like figure out from their work what the structure was, and then they submitted like the actual final structure something like a day before she did, but had they not gotten hold of the picture they wouldn't have been able to do that, and they got hold of the picture without anyone's permission. So, and there are lots of letters written between all of them where they were really like rude about her and her work and everything. So she definitely was struggling a lot and fighting with a lot of people through that process.
Well, but now everybody knows the.
Now everyone knows the story.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's great. And there is an opera about her.
Well, it's not really an opera. It's a kind of a more performing art.
Yeah.
So maybe we should
maybe we should write an opera about her.
Proper opera about it.
Yeah, and since then, many women have gotten into biophysics.
Yeah, we were the other day talking to. Well, we were in Warwick, not
Coventry.
in Coventry, but with people of Warwick University.
Yeah.
And we're discussing all of this.
Yeah.
And apparently Warwick has one of the biggest departments of physics with
women in it.
women.
Yeah, exactly. But it's still only 1 in 5.
Yeah, only 1 in 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like counting the number of people in the department. It was kind of 2,510 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Which still kind of a big difference.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We just need to get more women interested in physics.
Maybe through opera.
Yeah. There are lots of women interested in opera.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's going to work.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So, any opinions from the audience? This is supposed to be like a kind of audience participation.
I think...
okay, come here and talk to the microphone.
Bring a chair.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
You can share that one. Yeah.
Yeah, we can share.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we have less women in physics and opera because we spent thousands of years in patriarchal communities. So right now we need time to make balance again. So it's not easy for women to come back to the to come to the same level of education when the men don't give permission to educate it for women. So it's still, you can feel patriarchal thing in our community. So it's process, and I'm happy that it's coming, and I wish to go quicker.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to come?
Yeah. As the greatest act of irony this year, the Italian man came to CERN and said that women weren't as good at physics because their brains were smaller or something like that.
Yeah,
And
that just happened, didn't it?
amazingly, 2 days later, a woman won the Nobel Prize for Physics, which was...
Right. And the director of CERN is a woman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it's all things, and for example, the first woman can run in a marathon in 1977 or 76. It's mad. It's absolutely stupid and mad and
Yeah. So
racist. You can say this.
yeah. it's just like it's just like you said, just a build up of expectation of what women are inside through the patriarchal society. Yeah. I think we had loads of feminists in the room tonight.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So yeah, that's great.
Good.
So shall we
Yeah, let's move to the
get
last
into
section,
the last section then?
which
Okay.
is art is hard.
Yes, it is. We have a jingle for this section as well.
This one's a proper one, if I can find it.
They
because,
were all proper jingles.
They were
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah. I mean, physics is hard, but perhaps art is even harder.
There was actually a record label from Bournemouth called Art is Hard.
Really?
Yeah, I have a t-shirt which says it and everything.
Good. You should wear that.
I should. I've got it somewhere.
Who's there? You don't want to be standing in front of me.
Shall I play with the Newton's Cradle while there's an awkward silence?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if this is the actual one. Okay. I don't know. No, this is not the one.
Oh, no.
What the hell?
See how hard it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can talk about more Bournemouth indie later.
Okay.
if you wait.
Art is hard.
Art is
I think it's this one. And then the next one.
Seamless timing. It's
Okay.
I think the composer's gonna hate us now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so for this section,
Okay. Yeah.
art is hard.
Mhm.
We're gonna come back to opera.
Yeah, we're going to come back to opera. We've actually prepared 3 small operas for the audience today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need 3 volunteers, and we're gonna come back to the theme of women in physics as
Of
well.
women in physics. Yeah, that will be.
Right now.
And physics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Okay, great. Should we prepare the set?
Yeah, let's prepare.
We need to, Edwin, we need your help with the cameras.
Yeah, we need to set the new camera. So we have 3 mini operas. The first one is Nobel in Physics.
Yeah, so we need
So
a
we
volunteer.
need 3 volunteers.
3 volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll do
Thank you. Okay, got 2 volunteers, need 1 more volunteer. Oh, we have now got 3 volunteers. Perfect. Yay. Okay.
I'm just holding a sign.
No, there's a script.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh
So-
boy.
Okay, I'm gonna give the instructions. So the 3 volunteers. So who do we have?
Soren, Sai, and Declan.
Okay, good. So we have 3 characters. So who wants to lie on the bed? I think Sai. That's the best character for you. Just lie on the. Careful.
Yeah,
Give us the.
you might want to move things off the
Oh, these things.
those 2
Yeah.
things.
I thought
No,
these
not the
no, no,
cushion.
not the
You
cushion.
can keep the cushion, just the mask and
Yeah,
the
give us the mask, please.
I
Right now.
thought these were part of it.
Okay.
They're
I
going-
thought these were things that I.
Just put that over your head right now.
Yeah, this
I think do you have
Wrap this around.
Sai on the picture? So right now, just
Yeah.
so sparkly, you are the Nobel Prize of Physics.
need you to,
Just like this.
just like that.
What's
Yeah,
second prize?
can you see the tip of the
Not like that.
Okay.
Okay, so you are gonna be the Nobel Prize juror, and here you have
I must.
a mustache.
Thank you.
That more or less goes with your mustache already.
Oh,
Does it
Alrighty.
stick up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we must peel the mustache.
And Declan, you are gonna be a random scientist.
Yeah, we don't
And you
actually
need
have
to
a
be
written out
next
script
to
here, but
Soren.
yeah. We need
Sorry.
you to say 1 word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is coraggio.
Coraggio.
Yeah.
Coraggio.
Coraggio, very Italian.
I can't
Coraggio.
roll a horse. Coraggio.
Coraggio.
I can't roll a horse if I'm
No, no,
not
no, no,
You're gonna need something.
It's on the co. Coraggio.
Coraggio. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
okay. It's like
Yeah. And we need you to say it with like in immense
it?
force.
this. Is it? Okay.
And Soren, this is
Does this go that way?
Yes.
yeah,
Does it stick to here?
Yes.
probably.
Beautiful.
Good.
Is it better than the normal one?
Yeah, it is. Okay, so it's and the Nobel Prize in Physics goes to a random guy.
Do I say
Random,
it?
right?
Yeah,
you need
come
to-
there,
you shouldn't have read that.
next to
Okay.
Sai. And Declan, you go there next to
The
Søren.
magical of editing. So I'm gonna sneeze.
Yeah.
So go here.
Maybe in front of the table if you
Can I get
the
the cash?
the-
Can I get the cash equivalent instead of him?
No, I think here is fine.
Alright.
If you go there, Søren, go next to Declan.
Okay.
So, you're gonna say, Roxanne, you're gonna say something like,
Should I use my microphone?
no, I think it should be fine. Well, we can just put the microphone, I can hold it for you. So,
No, you
you should
don't.
say, oh, this year I've discovered the theory of
Okay.
everything. So I should win the Nobel Prize in Physics.
Yeah. This year.
But wait, you need to say that in a recitative style,
Okay.
while I play some kind of note in the background. Then when I finish the note in the background, you say the sentence, and I will play 3 chords.
And then
This one.
and then you after you say the sentence, then you say coraggio.
Directly after he finishes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's basically a long note, if it wants to work. You will say your sentence.
Yeah.
Then I will stop. You say your sentence. 3 chords. Coraggio. And then I will start playing.
Okay, great.
Okay, should
You
we try?
ready?
This is called the Nobel Prize in Physics 2025. Maybe?
Okay, 2025.
Okay, let's do that. Are you ready? So
No.
long note. If it wants to work.
I, as a woman in physics, have just discovered the theory of everything.
And the Nobel Prize in Physics goes to a random male.
Coraggio!
I don't need to break character at the end, I'm really sorry.
Okay,
It's okay.
good. We have 2 more to do. So, Sai, you stay there. Give us the thing.
Can I just stay here for the whole thing?
Yeah. But
I'm loving this.
give us the Nobel Prize.
You've been
No.
Yeah, no.
You're not the Nobel
This
Prize.
is the thing I want the most.
So now you put your mask. Okay, put the mask on. So now you are Pluto, the friendly dog of Mickey Mouse, but in the parallel universe in which Pluto is a killing shark. Okay, so
It is the wrong way around.
sorry, we need you to give a different mustache
Another.
because you are now Neil deGrasse Tyson
Oh,
in the.
I feel like I'm not quite.
No, you're Neil
The
deGrasse
mustache
Tyson.
won't be quite enough.
No, you're Neil deGrasse Tyson in the parallel universe in which Neil deGrasse Tyson is a Caucasic man
Ah, right, okay.
from Denmark.
Yeah, and in this parallel universe, Pluto is also a shark.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So in the camera, they're gonna see Pluto flipped over.
Or two.
Yeah, and then they're not gonna see your face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but let's just put this here.
and you are a random scientist that has to say coraggio to her again.
After
So-
3 chords.
The structure is the same. So basically,
Ah!
the structure. I will play the long note. You will say, "Oh, I love Pluto so much. It's my favorite planet."
Yeah.
Oh, this is like a kind of 2000 when they decided that Pluto wasn't
Yeah.
a planet anymore. Okay?
2016?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
They keep on changing their mind.
I did it. I decided it after all.
Yeah.
I never got back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
structure.
Same.
So long note, you say, oh, I love Pluto so much, it's my favorite planet.
Yeah.
Then music stops, you say, Pluto is no longer a planet, or whatever is in the script.
Yeah.
Something like that. And 3 chords, Coraggio, and the same.
Okay, you ready?
And then you cry.
Yeah.
And you say, Pluto! Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Got it. Excellent direction. Thanks, Dan.
Find your motivation.
Yeah.
Okay, the music.
Pluto, you are my favorite planet of all of the planets in the solar system.
You shall never be classed as planet.
Coraggio?
Coraggio!
Okay, there's only one more.
I feel it's wrong that I'm doing this on a Friday night and I haven't even smoked anything illegal.
So, which one was the last one? Oh, yeah, I remember. So, Sai, you're gonna be now the future.
Yes! It's the role I was born for!
Son, you're gonna be the British government. And
I
you-
got this. Coraggio.
You got it.
Season prawn.
Good.
Yeah.
And
I'm
you're like
thinking about how I'm a scientist, but I love
yeah,
it.
you're a kid that wants to be a scientist in the future.
Yeah, but also I love.
Alright, okay, yeah, good.
Yeah, but that doesn't link to science.
Yes, but it will.
Okay.
Who cares?
Yeah. So, are you ready to do
Do you want me to lie down
your
again?
biggest role ever, like as future, as the future?
Do you want me to lie down?
Yeah, yeah, of course, you're dead.
You're still
Oh,
there.
yeah.
All of
Well,
these
not
things
yet,
that they were
well.
dead. Yeah, no. You're gonna be killed by Theresa May in the. You need the mustache of Theresa May.
Oh yeah, where are moustaches?
Yeah.
Oh, there. Oh yeah, that one was going to be scoundrel.
The scoundrel.
Ow. It's very painful when you have your own moustache.
Yeah. Yeah, this is being
But
very
how
dynamic.
does he shave his upper lip?
Yeah.
Just stick them in.
Okay,
I'm walking around.
Oh, ooh, I get to be. Do I get a monocle?
you are the scoundrel.
Oh, the British government.
Yes.
Okay, I think everybody's gonna hit me up.
Okay,
Okay, same structure.
same structure.
Okay, I think I don't need to explain it anymore.
But now I think we got it.
Okay, long note.
I am a child in the UK and I love science and I also want to be able to enjoy the arts.
There will no longer be education in the arts.
Coraggio!
My future! My future!
all in the weirdest program so far we've ever made. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Would you like to take a bow?
I'll clean this all up.
No, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Would you like to take a bow?
Save the remains of our
I think
future.
it's more seeing.
Yeah,
It's on the
maybe
left
if you
side.
turn around, just people can see you in the cameras. Hello. Just say hello to the people. Should we bow?
Yeah.
Coraggio!
Courage,
Good.
Thank you.
So this is all, Roxanne.
This is all. I think we might have come to the end of the podcast.
I think so.
Yeah. So
Good.
there's not much to say now.
I think there isn't.
But maybe everybody knows everything there is to know about physics and opera.
Yeah. I don't know how can you do a kind of a physics and opera podcast and it's not something like this.
No.
Yeah.
We did it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was something like this.
Anyway, see you in the next special or in the
Yeah.
actual series of podcasts that are going to be very well organized next
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Not like today.
Not like today. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you and goodbye. Thank you and goodbye.
3 seconds focus.